Flowing through this pump is 150,000 pounds of quickly hardening concrete, on its way to becoming the 59th floor of a five-star hotel, 700 feet above Fifth Avenue in Midtown Manhattan. There are still 2 concrete trucks left waiting on the street, each with its own 90-minute clock, quickly counting down to its final minutes. After Derek added water to keep his load alive, a sample of his concrete was taken aside for the slump test, with just 16 minutes left. But he's still waiting for the results, and he can't unload until his batch passes the test. But he's running out of time.
There's really not much room for error because, the concrete is perishable.
Meanwhile,
Pump.
workers on the top floor scramble to get the job done as fast as possible.
Pump.
But they can only move as quickly as the concrete can be poured.
Hold the pump. Said hold the pump.
It will take a total of 108 million pounds of concrete to build this entire hotel. 100 years ago, this amount would have taken 10 years to produce. So how's it done today? With the rotary kiln, one of the largest machines on Earth. The inside of a rotary kiln is hotter than molten lava in an exploding volcano, and it never stops going. In just 5 days, it can produce all the cement needed for the entire hotel. That's enough to cover all of Central Park. To make sure concrete is constantly flowing through the slick line, the pump operator on the ground has to stay in constant coordination with Tony, the boom operator, all the way up on the 59th floor.
Pump.
Once the concrete arrives upstairs, it's up to Tony to move the boom into the right spot for the concrete to be poured.
We have 3 joysticks. Each one works a different function. This is a 4-section boom.
The boom is operated by remote control and can pour over 100 pounds per second. But working with this much concrete, Tony must be careful. If it flows too fast, workers won't be able to level the floor in time. Too slow, and the concrete in Derek's truck will be too hard to pump through the boom. As the last truck in front of him pulls away, Derek moves his truck into place to begin unloading. But before he can begin, workers on the top floor must finish pouring the most recent batch.
I don't slow anything down. It all depends on manpower.
Helping the boom operator are 22 workers moving in unison to get the job done. But with so many people around these moving parts, this high above the city, there's always danger.
Yo, watch your face.
You get cut a lot of scratches.
I got cut like a month ago.
The long steel rods of rebar that they're working around can easily scratch workers on a site or even impale them.
Oh yeah, you get deep cuts, a lot of scratches.
To prevent injuries and keep workers safe, this job site employs a full-time medic and multiple safety inspectors, like Fiona.
In any construction site, there's danger all over. Split second, anything can happen.
And on a day like today, heavy wind is Fiona's most serious concern.
When there's no guardrail, everyone has to be tied off.
Stefan, where's your hat, Stefan? Put that thing up.
Safety is the most important thing.
You crushed him, bro. That's why he got 3 broken toes.
All workers below the top floor are tied to thick nylon straps attached to the floor above them.
My concern basically is that one day they don't tie off, and God forbid they do happen to slip or go over.
But on the top floor with nothing above them to connect to,
What are you clipped off to?
how are workers kept safe? The Doka, a state-of-the-art system of vertically mobile walls. Covering the top 3 floors of the building as it rises, these walls let workers move around much faster and toss their materials without fear of anything or anyone falling to the ground.
If I don't get the dug up, Fifth Avenue is 50 stories below us right now. There's potential for something to fall off the building.
Right there, right there. You got it, Ricky. Right here, right here.
Whatever it takes to get the job done.
If you look at the adjoining buildings in the vicinity, you'll see they don't use this. This added about a $2 million cost to this project.
It's still pumping. Don't stay there.
On the ground, Derek's concrete is running out of time. With just 12 minutes left, he needs to unload immediately. Finally, the results of the slump test are in.
We're looking for 18 slump, and we got an 18 slump.
Derek's batch has passed this crucial safety check, and he's able to unload. He spins the concrete drum in reverse, and his concrete begins flowing into the hydraulic pump, through the 800 feet of slick line, out of the boom, and onto the rebar frame. His entire batch will make it to the top floor in just 3 minutes. Derek's work is finally done.
Okay, mission accomplished. We got the load off. 21 leaving the job.
He passes his concrete onto the team upstairs, where it will need every minute it has left to be smoothed and leveled. Workers have to move fast on Derek's batch. It's already harder than what they're used to working with, and if it hardens unevenly, they'll have to rip up the entire floor.
Don't worry about numbers now, just make it work.
The majority of workers use handheld smoothers to level the concrete manually, but that method alone isn't fast enough, and it can't always get rid of bumps and air bubbles if the concrete is already starting to set like it is today. So how do they do it? By using a machine called the gyrator, which pulses through the concrete at 12,000 vibrations per minute. Without the heavy vibration, pockets of air would be trapped inside the hardened concrete, creating a honeycomb effect that would weaken the structure.
If you have holes in the concrete when they strip it, you may not pass the inspection.
Once it's compacted, they can begin leveling and making final preparations for the flooring to be installed. But suddenly, with just 9 minutes left before Derek's concrete hardens, there's another problem.
You're breaking up. We're going to need about a load and a half to complete the pour.
When Billy made the decision to clear the slick line earlier today, he dumped thousands of pounds of concrete onto the street. Now, with just a few cubic yards left to pour, they've run out. This unexpected delay could ruin everything these workers have accomplished today.
Waiting for concrete truck to back into the pump.
If Derek's concrete hardens before the concrete directly next to it is poured, the batches won't fuse together properly, a condition known as cold joints.
If we get a cold joint on this type of deck, this deck could be rejected.
This could threaten the entire floor's structural integrity.
We may have to put a cold joint in, get the engineers here and design all sorts of doweling.
And with only minutes left before Derek's concrete becomes completely solid, workers are doing everything they can to keep it alive.
It could back the whole job up.